Imagine an animal hospital, literally the size of a city. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to dive into how a single Indian billionaire with a massive vision created the world's absolute largest wildlife rescue and rehabilitation center. We're talking about a mind-blowing facility called Vantara over in India. It's this unique place where unimaginable scale meets incredibly intimate, hands-on animal care. Throughout this explainer, we're going to unpack the fascinating and honestly sometimes incredibly dangerous methods they use to save and stimulate some of the most exotic creatures on the planet. So, what does it actually take to rehabilitate the world's most dangerous and severely traumatized animals? Well, it requires a massive, delicate balancing act of huge scale, extreme caution, and just deep, profound empathy. You can't simply take an animal that's been traumatized in captivity or one that's hardwired to be a lethal predator and just drop it in a pen. You really have to understand its biology, its psychology, and its natural instincts. Section 1. Welcome to Vantara. Let's kick things off by looking at the sheer, unbelievable scale of the sanctuary and the unique, positive reinforcement healthcare they give to their largest residents. 50. We are talking about 50 acres of open, simulated savanna safaris where rescued animals get to just roam freely. To put that into perspective, that is dozens of city blocks of pure, open space. This isn't just some small paddock or a temporary holding pen. These animals come in for their specialized daily health checks, and then they're released right back out into this vast grassland to spend their days exactly as they would in the wild. Out in this incredible savanna ecosystem, highly social creatures like rescue giraffes actually get to forage alongside a huge variety of other animals. Because of their towering height, giraffes act as natural sentinels in the wild. They spot danger from miles away and alert the herd. And at Vantara, they get to recreate that exact same social dynamic, living completely free among zebras, blue and royal wildebeests, elands, kudus, and even rare species like the addax and scimitar oryx. Now, think about how insanely powerful these animals are for a second. A single kick from a giraffe could crush your ribs and stop your heart in a split second. Game over. Yet, because of Vantara's brilliant positive conditioning, these giant animals voluntarily step right up for their daily foot checks. Caretakers actually use a specialized spiked massaging glove. Honestly, it looks a lot like a weird rubber oven mitt to rub and scrub their hooves. It's a completely cooperative, totally stress-free process. Moving into Section 2, Trauma to Triumph. Let's see how this kind of intense, specialized care builds the foundation for rehabilitating severely traumatized rescues. The contrast between the circus life and the Vantara life is just night and day. Take the heartbreaking story of one massive male circus hippo. For his entire life, he was trapped in a small metal box with a concrete floor. For an animal's whole existence revolves around submerging in water to relieve stress, his only water came from being hosed down for a few minutes a day. Just a terrible existence. But after Vantara rescued him and put him through a 90-day quarantine, he was released into a giant, crystal-clear lake. And the best part? They slowly introduced him to a rescued female circus hippo, and now they're completely bonded for life. Giant river otters are one of the most aggressive creatures in the world. And wow, they really aren't kidding about that. These are not cuddly little water pets. In the wild, they are so fiercely protective that they will literally fight off a jaguar. Because of that, when caretakers at Vantara step into their territory for daily checks and feedings, they actually have to carry full-blown riot shields to fend them off. It sounds absurd, but it's an absolutely essential safety precaution. But here is the really crazy part. Despite being absolute natural warriors, these specific otters came from such horrific confined backgrounds at a previous zoo that they were completely broken. When they first arrived, they didn't even know how to swim. They had zero hunting instincts. Caretakers would toss in live catfish for enrichment, and the otters would just ignore them. So they had to be completely, patiently retaught how to be otters, how to swim, how to hunt. Now, they're totally thriving, enjoying their pool, and it's just a beautiful reminder of the extreme patience required to undo years of captivity. Section 3. Delicate and Deadly Care. Let's dig into the highly meticulous and frankly very dangerous interventions needed to keep these exotic species alive. 10. That's the number of entirely separate venomous reptile rooms inside Vantara's sprawling 3-acre reptile facility. They don't just handle giant mammals. They also house dozens of deadly snakes. Many of these guys were surplus animals taken in from other zoos around the world, meaning they had absolutely nowhere else to go and needed immediate sanctuary just to survive. For instance, consider the spider-tail viper. This is a highly venomous desert species from Iran that literally evolves a tail resembling a spider to lure in its prey. It's fascinating, but keeping the tiny babies of this species alive in captivity is a massive headache. They often just flat out refuse to eat on their own, requiring immediate, highly specialized human intervention. So how do they do it? Well, assist feeding a baby viper is incredibly tense. Step 1, caretakers gently but firmly secure the snake's head using a rubber pinning tool. Step 2, they offer food to trigger a natural bite response. And step 3, this is the wild part. They slowly loosen their fingers to delicately massage the food down the snake's throat. You've got to remember, this tiny baby snake's microscopic heart and organs are right there under your thumb. Press even a fraction too hard and it's fatal. Section 4. Instincts and Enrichment. Let's explore how the sanctuary uses some really clever behavioral enrichment to trigger the natural, wild instincts of these animals. Cheetahs are sprint athletes, not endurance runners. They can accelerate from 0 to 70 kilometers per hour in just 2 seconds. Think about that. It's faster than most sports cars. You simply cannot let an engine like that sit idle. To keep these predators physically fit and mentally sharp, the sanctuary sets up these massive specialized lure courses that trigger their explosive sprinting instincts, letting them stretch their legs just like they would chasing down prey on the African savanna. Now, check out this fascinating genetic quirk, the king cheetah. If you compare it to a standard African cheetah, it looks completely different. It's got this totally unique spot pattern and this really distinct mane running straight down its back. But actually, scratch that thought that it's a different animal. It's the exact same species. That crazy coat is just a naturally occurring recessive gene, making them a super rare and visually spectacular resident to have. Then we have the Malayan tapir. These guys look like they were invented by a kid with a wild imagination. They have this black and white panda bear coloration, plus a prehensile snorkel-like nose. Because they're deep rainforest mammals, they are highly aquatic. Ventara gives them these massive water enclosures and aquatic toys, like basketballs to play with. Fun fact, tapirs absolutely love to poop in their water. So yes, the caretakers frequently have to wade through a literal poop soup to play with them, but seeing them push toys around with their snorkel noses makes the whole shebang worth it. And you can't forget the sand cat. They might look like the cuddliest, friendliest little domestic kittens, but do not be fooled. These are fierce, highly camouflaged desert predators. Their biology is absolute perfection for harsh environments. They actually extract all their required moisture directly from the prey they eat. You could put a bowl of fresh water right in front of them, and they wouldn't even touch it. They can survive for days without taking a single sip of water. Finally, we've got the black-footed cats. These tiny African predators are notoriously bullish and fiercely territorial. To give them the right behavioral enrichment, the sanctuary brings out American motorized hunting decoys, basically these little spinning feathers. And it works perfectly. It completely mimics wild social dynamics. The dominant cat leaps in and makes the kill, while the submissive cat patiently crouches nearby, waiting its turn. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to step back and think about the sheer magnitude of everything we've just covered. From literally massaging the tiny heart of a baby viper, to teaching broken otters how to swim again, to giving rescued hippos massive private lakes. The time, the resources, and the boundless empathy required to heal just one of these traumatized animals is truly staggering. So I'll leave you with this. If this level of massive, meticulous effort is what it actually takes to right the wrongs of wildlife captivity, what does the true future of global wildlife conservation look like?